All right, YouTube, here we go with the last part of the pre-trip inspection for PSD students, all right? We're going to do the Incab. The air brake test is part of the Incab inspection, so we're going to do the entire Incab, including the air brake test, okay? So this is for an automatic transmission. Manual transmissions are a little bit different, but this is for an automatic, okay? I've already chalked the wheels out front. When you go to test in an automatic, your trainer will chalk your wheels. If you are an in-house student, which means you took night classes here at Springfield, they will have somebody who will set your truck up and chalk the wheels for you, okay? So that part will be taken care of already. So we're inside the truck. We're doing the in-cab inspection. First thing we're going to do is our seatbelt, all right? Put it on. All right. We're going to make sure that it's properly mounted, secured, not cut or frayed, and that it latches and adjusts properly. Okay. Next, we have a fire extinguisher right there on the floor, right here. You're going to make sure it's properly mounted, secured, and fully charged. 3 triangles under the bed, back there in the sleeper. Extra fuses, I keep mine up here in the glove box. Okay. Now, I'm having to get my cheat sheet because this is pretty important. I don't want to mess it up. All right, so now we're going to do a safe start. So the way you do a safe start is for starters, you punch the code in, okay? Your alarm code to make sure your truck alarm doesn't go off. But you turn the key to the on position, and you want the ABS light to come on then go off, okay? Which it did, indicating there's no problem with the ABS system. So we're going to go ahead and start truck. We're going to check our voltmeter, which is right here on the 2019 Freightliners, also on the 18.5s. It's in the same place. If you have an older model, if you're testing the 17 or 18, there's actually a meter on the side, okay? But on the 18s and 19s, or the late 18s and 19s, 18.5s, whatever they call them, it's right here on the digital display, 13.8. So I'm going to check my voltmeter and make sure my alternator is charging between 13 and 14 volts. So we're at 13.9, we're good. This truck actually charges about 14.2, which is okay. Oil pressure gauge right here, oil pressure. Okay. Engine oil pressure is rising to normal operating range. Water temperature. Water temperature is rising to normal operating range. Air pressure gauges. It says gauges because there's technically 2 of them right there, okay? The white, let me wipe the dust away. The white and the blue are 2 totally separate tanks, all right? They're 2 separate meters. So you see the shorter white one, the long blue one, those are 2 separate tanks. So that's actually both tanks on one. Primary and secondary air tanks are both on 1 meter. Okay, we're going to make sure that those are rising to governor cutout, which is between 120 and 125. As you can see right now, they're both sitting like right at 125, maybe actually a little bit over. So, and that's fine. 120 to 125 governor's cutout. City horn, obviously right here. Air horn, right here. All right. Do your windshield and your mirrors. All right. Windshield and mirrors are clean. No cracks or breaks. No obstructions. And the mirrors are in proper adjustment for you. Okay, so you make sure the mirrors are adjusted for you. Let's talk about obstructions. Any kind of GPS system that is in the path of the windshield wipers. So if you put your GPS on the windshield, and when you turn your windshield wipers on, it's in the path that your windshield wipers cover, it's against the law. And Oklahoma's writing tickets right now for it, and I believe Arkansas is. So make sure you don't do that, all right? You'll see guys running around here with 3-4 GPS systems. Don't do that. You need to figure out what's legal, do it properly, do it right. You don't want to be the one guy who gets the ticket and tells everybody else, well, why are they picking on me? Well, they're not picking on you. You just happen to be there when they decide they were going to write a ticket for it, okay? It's nobody's fault. It's not going to be the officer's fault. It's going to be yours, okay? Nothing in the path of the windshield wiper, period. I don't care what your trainer tells you. I don't care what no one else tells you. That's the law. If it's in the path of the windshield wiper, it's illegal. All right? So that's what obstructions are. So windshield and mirrors are clean. No cracks or breaks. No obstructions. The mirrors are in proper adjustment for you. Okay? Windshield wipers. Here we go. They're right through there. We're going to turn the windshield wipers on. And fluid, you're going to push in the side button. For the windshield washer fluid, you're going to make sure fluid comes out, windshield wipers are working properly, and that the blades aren't cracked or dry rotted. Heater and defrost. Those who don't know, this is the defrost button right here. Here's my light showing me what I'm on. So there's my defrost. I'm going to turn this gauge all the way over to the heat. Okay? And I'm going to turn this on high. And I'm going to simply hold my hand up here and say, okay, my heater and defrost are working. Okay? I'm going to go into the light indicators. All right, left turn signal, right turn signal, bright lights, blue light down there at the bottom, and then the hazards. Make sure all those are working on the inside. All right. Now we're going to go into stage 1 of the air brake test. So we make sure that we have between 120 and 125 psi on our gauge. We are going to turn the key off. And we're going to turn it back to the on position. Okay? We're going to push both of our protection valves in. This is why we chalk the wheel. Okay? Because now we have no brakes. The chalk is holding this in place. Alright? Make sure these are pushed in, or else you're not doing an air brake test. So the protection valves are pushed in. First step is your service brake down here, your applied pressure test. I'm going to simply press my pedal in. I'm going to wait for the air gauge to stop moving. Okay? I'm holding it, I'm just waiting. Once it stabilizes, alright, it's stabilized. Stop moving. Now I'm going to ask the inspector to please time me for 1 minute while I do the applied pressure test. Okay? And what I'm looking to do is make sure the truck does not lose more than 4 psi in 1 minute. If it does, it could indicate an air leak. Okay, so that's what we're doing. So they'll do it for 1 minute. They'll say, okay, your 1 minute's up, blah, blah, blah. All right. You let off. You're like, okay. Now, the next step is going to be pumping the brakes down until the warning buzzer and light come on, which should happen at or before 60 psi. So simply pump the brakes. There we go. You hear the buzzer, you see the light, okay? So we're going to pump the brakes down. The warning buzzer and light should come on at or before 60 psi. Boom, it happened. That's good. I'm going to continue to pump the brake down, and my protection valves should pop out between 20 and 40 psi. So you continue to pump the brakes. And they both popped out. You can see here, we're between the 25 and the 50 lines. So they definitely popped out between 20 and 40 psi. Showing that the brakes are working properly and that the buzzer's working properly and the protection valves are working properly. That's it for the air brake test. Okay? That is the pass or fail part. When this is done, you simply start your truck back up. Your valves are already out, so all we're doing now is we're waiting to build up air pressure, okay? While you're waiting to build up air pressure, you will get out. And there's your wheel chalk. You're going to have to move it. Well, unfortunately, we rolled down on this one because we're on the side of a hill. I can't pull it out currently, so we're going to have to wait till we have pressure built up. Which it's getting there. I'm going to give it a little boost there. See our air gauge here is filling back up. And all I'm going to do is back off the the chalk a little bit. I'm going to get my wheel chalk. I'm going to put it up. Alright, now we have air pressure. We have no warning light or buzzer. Now we can do a tug test, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to test the trailer brake. We're going to push in the parking brake, which is the tractor brake. We're going to put the truck in drive. And we're going to simply try to pull forward very slowly. Truck will not move right now, alright? That indicates the trailer brake is working properly. Now, we're going to pull the tractor brake back out. We're going to push in the trailer brake. And we're going to try to pull forward. And nothing, which is good. That means our tractor brake is working properly. Last thing you're going to do is push in both brakes. Put it in drive. You're going to go forward at 5 miles an hour and simply mash your brakes and make sure your steering wheel doesn't pull to the left or right. Once all of that is done, now you have completed your in-cab inspection, okay? Because all of that is part of the in-cab. The air brake is not separate. It's all one thing. It's all part of the in-cab. So now once you've completed that, now we've completed our in-cab inspection. And that's simply what you would tell them, okay? Now if you do this and you get done and the inspector looks at you or your tester looks at you and he's like, "Are you sure?" You can always restart the air brake test, just the air brake. You don't have to start back at the seat belt. You can simply pull your brakes, let your air pressure finish building up, put your chalk back underneath your wheel, okay? And then start the entire air brake test over, starting with the turn. Make sure you have 120 to 125 psi. Turn your truck off. Turn your key back to the on position so your gauges are on. Push in your protection valves. You must push these in, okay, or else you're not testing anything. Push in your protection valves. Start with the applied pressure test. Hold your brake pedal down, right here. When the gauge stabilizes, then you ask him to time you for 1 minute. You make sure you don't lose more than 4 psi. Once the 1 minute is up and you don't lose more than 4 psi, you then continue to pump your brake. And at or before 60 psi, the warning buzzer and light should come on. Pump it down. 60 psi, the warning buzzer and light should come on. Once that comes on, you stop. You say, "Now I'm going to continue to pump my brakes, and my protection valve should pop back out between 20 and 40 psi. Pump your brakes. Pump them, 20 to 40, it should pop back out. Okay, once that happens, start your truck. Get your air built up. Get your chalk back out underneath your wheel. Put it up, and do your tug test and your service brake test. Okay. So hope this helps you out. I know it can be a bit confusing at first. It takes a little bit. Read it over a lot. Try to get it built into your head. You know, every trainer does it a little different, so this may not work for every student whose trainer maybe teaches them a little different. Main reason I did these videos was for my own personal students when I get them, so they have something to watch when I'm driving or when I'm sleeping and they're up all night, because you young kids, you think being up all night's all right. So, but that's okay. That's a whole nother story. So, but get more rest. Okay, that's it. That concludes the in-cab inspection. I hope this video helps you out. This is the toughest part of the exam, in my opinion, because it is a pass or fail. If you don't push your protection valves in, if you don't say the wording right about at or before 60 psi, or before 20 or between 20 and 40 psi, it'll fail you. So you have to make sure you get the wording right. So study that sheet really hard they give you. and practice it as much as you can with your trainer. Ask your trainer every day when you stop, hey, can we just do an air brake test? You don't have to do the whole Incab. Can we just do the air brake test start to finish? If you have a trainer who refuses to practice the air brake test with you, don't be afraid to pick up the phone and call the training department and go, hey, I'm really trying to learn this air brake test. This guy doesn't want to do it. You know, he wants to pull into a truck stop and he wants to go in and sit around and flirt with the waitress all night instead of helping him learn the air brake. They'll get you a trainer that actually cares, okay? Because that's what you need in order to be successful. If you're not taught right, you're not going to be successful in the end. So, hope this video helps y'all out. Hit the like button, hit the share button. Leave me any comments you may have, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And if I have an answer, and if I don't, maybe I can refer you to someone who does. But that's it. That concludes actually the entire pre-trip. I'm going to do some videos on my students as I get them from here on out. So subscribe, and you'll see some life on the road with old crazy bags and my students. Hope you all take care, and I'll see you on the road. Be safe.